Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to go over mastering UVs, some tips and tricks inside ZBrush. Some of you, and even myself, have said, ZBrush really isn't that robust of a UV editor. Um, it is true. It does have its limitations, but it's still got a pretty powerful tool set to work with. So today I'm going to go over that with you and some tips and tricks on what I've learned over a couple years of messing with it, and find it quite useful. So today we're going to, I want to go ahead and dive into our UV map here and take a look at everything here. This is under the Create tab here. This is all our basic UV unwraps down here. If you're unfamiliar with them, UV planner, UV spherical, UV cylindrical, UV tile, adaptive UV, PUV, GUV. If at any time you want to get a full-blown description on them, all you have to do is hold down Control and then hover over it. It gives you a quick description of it, and that will work on any tool inside ZBrush here. So just remember Control and click on or hover over an item, and it will give you just a quick description of it. Sometimes they have pictures of it, so it's quite handy. So let's go ahead, and if you guys are interested in the UI that is available on Gumroad, even this ZBrush logo, you can get him now on Gumroad. So you go ahead and get them, they're free. So let's go ahead and start looking at some of our basic UV unwraps here in the UV panel. So let's go ahead and start with, say, like a cube. Okay, let's see, I'm going to turn off floor here. There we go. And polyfill. So we can see it's just a plain Jane cube, nothing special, 8.6 sides. As simple of a cube as you can get. With something like this, I would probably want to do, say, UV tile. And let me click UV tile. Can't really see anything because it has no texture map on there yet. So quick and easy, if you hit comma, there you go, and go into your textures tab here, and then go under UV master checker, and it's got a couple different checkers in there. We'll go ahead and pick the color one. Once it pops up over there, we can go ahead and hit comma, and now you can go under, let me hold shift and then open up my texture map there. This way it has two panels open at the same time. We'll go ahead and click on that and open up that image. There we go. And now you can see what it's done. Basically, it's taken that UV and mapped it to every polygon. Okay, there's only 6 polygons here, but each one has got an identical UV map. So basically, all 6 of those sides are mapped to one UV coordinate. Frame. There we go. And if we do morph UV, you can see how they all line up right on top of each other. And morph UV back. So pretty quick and easy for a cube, and then you could just subdivide from there and work your way up. The only downside is you may run into seaming issues if you take it into other programs. I mean, it'll work just fine, but you take it in a Substance Painter and you try to paint on this side, well, it's going to do the exact same thing on this side, and all 6 sides. So it's something to be aware of when you do it. So let's moving on to, say, like our subdivided cube up here. Okay, well, why don't we try UV tile and see what happens. UV tile, texture map, image. Oh, what's this? Okay, well, it's like I said, it mapped it to every single polygon on there. Well, that's not really going to work, because even with a symmetrical texture, you're still going to run into repeating patterns. As you can see here, you can see all these repeating patterns on here. It's obvious. So maybe you might want to do something like UV planner. Let's go ahead and shoot that. Oh, okay, that works. But you run it onto the sides, and you see how it's stretching the UV all the way across it. It's basically shot it from this side here and shot it straight through the Z-axis. So you look on the back, oh, okay, it looks fine on there, but everywhere else it's stretching out that information. So this is something you have to kind of remember whenever you do a UV planner or any sort of camera projection onto an object. That's what's going to happen when it gets on, when it starts to get off angle, off tangent. So just something to kind of keep in mind. So, well, let's move on here. Let's go ahead and work on our cylindrical here. Well, here's our, oh, make sure it's polymesh. There we go. Let's go ahead and do UVC, and let's activate that texture image. Oh, well, poo. Okay, so what happened here is when it ran the cylindrical projection, it shoots it from the Z space. So what you got to remember, let me delete that, and what we'll do is we'll do rotate. Let me center him up there. There we go. And we'll rotate him. Well, we'll try to rotate him. Oh, had masked by polygroups on. There we go. Now let's try that again, and let's go UVC, and now there we go. It's mapped it around the circular part of the cylinder, which is basically what we want. So the only thing you got to watch out is for the poles on top and bottom. That's where you're going to run into some issues. So let's try our sphere here, and let's go ahead and do a UV spherical, and let's get our texture image. Same problem again. So we'll delete it, and we're going to rotate him. There we go. Let's go ahead and shoot it again. Spherical. There we go. Just got to remember, whenever the UVC and UVS are shot, they shoot it from the Z space, even the planner. So remember, it's always in the Z position that it shoots that UV map. So, okay. So those are basically great for primitive work and stuff like that. So what about some of these others? So let's go back to my logo here. And let's see. So I got them on low res right now, so which is fine. Let's go ahead and let's try one of these other ones. Let's do adaptive UV. Let's see what happens. Get us a texture map in here. Image. And there we go. It's a very tightly packed set of UV coordinates. Not really making much sense. So let's go ahead and try packed UV. There's a little more order within packed UV. And then GUV, and it's a little less dense, which is nice. So let's go ahead and do a morph UV with that one and see how that looks. Okay, so let's go back, let's shoot that packed UV again, morph it. See, with the packed UV, it utilizes every single bit of the texture of the UV space, except mine is just a little bit down here. And let's see what adaptive UVs does. Morph UV. Kind of a weird mess. So those are your basic UV mapping options within ZBrush there, but we do have one more that we can go over here. So let's go ahead. We got the demo head here, which you can get in your tool panel, and I got rid of the subdivisions. Let me go ahead and turn off the eyes. We don't need to see them anymore. So we've also got this little plugin up here. This is the UV master. So I'm going to set it to symmetry. We're going to turn off enable control painting. It's off by default. Let's just do a basic unwrap and see what happens. Okay, so inside here we can actually do a flatten. It's a little like a morph UV. Interesting. But it looks like it split our mesh up front, because there's an eye, ear, Okay, unflatten. Let's go ahead and check seams. Ooh, yeah, it's about what I thought. It put the seams really where I do not want them to be. So, but UV Master has a control for that. So let's go under Control Pane in here. I'm going to turn off Polyfill. And we want to protect. All right, so it's automatically filled everything. Let me just make sure it did. Be sure you can go under Color and Fill Object. Whoa, why is it doing that? Why did it do that? That's weird. Color, fill. Okay, that's better. That was weird. Okay, got off tangent there. So now we want to, everything's technically protected now. So we want to do an attraction. Notice how the color switched over here. Okay, if you hit, okay, I got symmetry on right now on the X. Let me bring down my size a little bit and change to standard. Draw size up. Make sure your Z add's not on. And I'm going to draw a blue line right here. And basically I told ZBrush I want that seam to be in this general area. It's not an exact science, unfortunately, with UV Master. So let's see how we do here. Let's do an unwrap. Okay. And center him up. Flatten. Ah, perfect. Look at that. That is perfect. It's right where I wanted him. I want that face dead center there. And that's what that little symmetry does. That will kind of center him, and if he's got mirrored you, or not, if he's the same on the left and the right side, that's what it's going to end up doing for you. So let's go ahead and unflatten. We'll check seams. Turn them around. Ah, beautiful. It did exactly what I wanted. Now granted, it's not always going to do exactly what you want, so you have to work with it a little bit. So you can also do, you can change the density, and I'm not really going to go into that. It's basically telling like ZBrush, okay, why not? Let's go ahead. Let's do density, and it uses colors to identify everything. So I'm going to go ahead and do, right now it's set at 2. I'm going to go ahead and fill object, okay. And then I'm going to go up to ×4. You notice how it changed the color there? I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to give that front face this lime green color here. I'm basically telling ZBrush, hey, I want more texture space for these colors. And then I'm just going to do a smooth RGB, just kind of blend it a little bit. This way it's not so harsh when it generates it. Alright, so let's see what happens here. Let's go ahead and unwrap. And flatten. And as you can see, it looks like it gave it more texture space like I wanted. So you notice how this face is a whole lot bigger now in reference to what it was earlier. So that's another quick trick for you there. Or trick, not necessarily, it's just tool. And then you can always copy this UV and then paste it onto the same model with subdivisions. You can do that. I want to show you something else real fast. So let me go back into my tools here. Let's go to the Sci-Fi Cube, which you can also get on my Gumroad. It's free as well. And turn on polyfill. Okay, as you can see, it's got no polygroup information at all. I'm going to do Shift D, turn off that dynamic there. And I want to go to polygroups real quick because I'm going to let polygroups help us out on generating our UV islands. So do a group by normals. Alright, it's not too bad. Actually, what I wanted to do is auto group. What was I thinking? I want to do auto group. Now each individual island is set up. So let's go into this island here, and basically I want to be able to put a seam like right here. So I want to be able to separate that shell, that inner shell, from the outer shell. Okay, so how am I going to do that? Well, we're going to do a group by normals. Okay, right now it's not helping us out any, so we need to drop that down to probably about 20. and that is just the degrees, the tolerance for it. So let's do group by normals again, and there we go. It's marked it perfectly for me. So let me go back out here, and let me select that shell again. Now I just got the outer shell, and if you go down to display, no, not display, visibility, and then you do grow, 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 grow. There we go. Just until I get that little piece of the inner side, then I'll just hide him, and then do a Control W. Okay. Do it with this one, same thing. We'll do group by normals. Close that out. And grow, 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 grow. There we go. Take that and Control W. Okay. Get this guy out here. Group by normals. And grow, 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 grow. Alright. And Control W. Just want to make sure we got good separation of colors here. It's going to help us later. Alright, so now let's work on these inner guys here. Select. There we go. Never mind that slice I was trying to do there. It was still set up on a previous tool. Alright, so I got these two inner shells here, and I just want to get the inside of these guys right there. And then Control W. Okay. Alright, now everybody should be separated. So let's take him inside UV Master now, and I'm going to go ahead and turn Symmetry off. That's not really going to help us this time, but Polygroups will. I'm going to turn off Control Painting, check Seams, and do a UV Unwrap. And if we did this right, I should have 10 islands generated here, and do a Flatten, and there we go. It's all magically done for us. Of course, the downside here is, I don't know if it's slight OCD I got or something, but it just does a very weird job of throwing things around. It's like no organization whatsoever. So what we're going to do is go into your brush here, and under auto masking, do mask by polygroup, and I got this up here, so you'll see me use this from now on. And let's go ahead and go to your move. I'm going to scale out just a little bit. And now, each time I touch one of these, only that piece is going to move. It still didn't give me enough polygroups. Hold on. Let's see. Click these two auto groups. There we go. Alright, now I should be okay. Move him over there. And this is the UV 1-to-1 here. Okay, so this is where we want all our UV shells to land. So let's, but we got to fix everything first. So I'm going to take these guys, move them over here. Let me guess. I knew it. All right. ZBrush, Pixelogic. Can you get a few more polygroups and colors, please? It's driving me nuts. Auto groups. All right. I shouldn't have that problem anymore. No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, move. Move him up here, move him up here. Just trying to keep the similar shells together here. There we go. That'll work. Alright, so now I want to start doing some rotation on this guy here. Try to get center here. And same thing with him. Okay, now move. Move him out here. Perfect. And move these guys up here. Let's rotate these guys. Alright, got everybody moved around. There we go. There we go. And let me rotate these guys over here. Okay. Move. Get that right as close as I can without overlapping. You don't want to overlap these guys. And then give them a little breathing room too. Rotate him so he's a little tighter. Move. Okay. I want that one. That one. Reverse. And turn off mask by polygroups, and we're going to scale off of this corner right here. There we go. Now I've gone back in the UV space there. Click that. Boom. Done. Got it all nice and organized now. You can even go in a graphic editor and type in here. It's like inner shell, upper right, or whatever it is. Before we unflatten this here, let's do a little cleanup here. So as you can see on these guys down here specifically, and then one of the big shells over there too, you notice these real tight, there's like 2 or 3 edge loops right here. So let's go ahead and see if we can smooth that out a bit. Go under masking, turn off groups and crease, and go ahead and hit border. And now everything, all the borders should be, so if you do control click on the outside there, ooh, it's interesting. Okay. Hold on, let me clear the mask. Let's do mask. Clear mask by feature. It's not affecting those two. At least it doesn't seem like it. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Let's just see if it works. Deformation, and let's do a smooth. Okay, yeah, it's working. Alright. And then we'll repeat to active a little bit. And you can see that we spread out those lines there, those edge loops. So that's going to help us out big time. A little bunched up right there. If you want, you can even do basic modeling operations. You can standard. Let me see. Try a little polish here. It's probably way too much. That's weird. Usually that does work, but for the time being it's not working that well. But you can kind of see what I'm trying to do there. So we can go ahead and go back to our UV master here, and you do an unflatten, and we'll make sure all the masks are clear. Unflatten, and there you go. Everybody now has their own nice little island, UV island in there. And flatten them again, and it kept it. The only thing to remember, that trick of moving all the shells around only works in UV master under the flatten. If you try to do it under morph UV in the UV panel, that trick won't work. So just kind of remember that whenever you're doing it. But unflatten him. Another thing to remember is if you had any creasing information, once you do a flatten or copy and paste of the UVs, that information is now gone. Okay, it has gotten rid of it. As you can see, nothing is creased anymore. So you can do a quick crease inside your crease panel. Change your tolerance to, I'm going to do 20 here, and then just do a crease. And then it creased everything that I had before. Frame them out, turn off polyfill, and do a D for dynamic subdivision. And there you go. He's all back, nicely UV unwrapped. Now all you got to do is add a texture to him, or do your low poly to high poly bacon. And there you go, guys. I hope this has been useful for some of you out there. And guys got any questions or ideas for me to work on, let me know in the description, in the comments below. And we will see you in the next video. Guys, have a great day.